call the meeting to order at 4:10, please. Emily, just so you know, Joan, Peter, and Fred are here.
Wonderful. Hello, everybody.
Okay, the first order of business, I'd like to make a motion to move Fred, to seat Fred to vote for, as a regular member, to vote in place of Emily.
Oh, Emily's here, though.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
Ann.
Michael Gaffey.
Michael.
Okay.
Oh, you think Ann might appear?
I don't know.
Right.
Pick one.
So that's the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
And then I'll make a motion also to seat Peter for Ann Bing until she arrives. So, all in favor?
Hi.
Thank you. Okay. So, Martha, I have a correction for last month's minutes. On the minutes under my presentation to the Board of Selectmen, all the way down to the second from last sentence, since the funds were available in the contracted services line item of the Tree Commission's budget, the Board of Selectmen, the correction is the Board of Selectmen approved up to $450 from carryover or miscellaneous line item in the budget to purchase the seedlings.
Okay.
That will be donated to residents.
So moving up to $450 from
it was my choice.
Tree.
They left that to me, and I didn't know about it until I went to make the arrangements for the seedlings with Amy Jensen, the assistant to the finance director. She asked me where I would like to deduct it from, and I selected other miscellaneous. So to all of you, we had $1,800 in other miscellaneous in this present budget, and they are deducting the $450 from that.
Okay.
And the total will be that's left. Now, it's not posted yet. I approved that. I agreed to it and approved it.
Yep.
But it's not posted that I'm aware of because I didn't get a budget report this month.
No, they didn't put one out. I looked.
She's been out.
I looked in our email for Historic District Commission, and there wasn't one.
She's been out.
She has been out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, Nicole's been out. That's why I did this with Amy Jensen is the one who filled in the seedling cards. Okay, so $1,350. And the reason that happened, as you remember, we talked about asking for funds. We voted for funding for these seedlings. And when I went to, did the presentation to the Board of Selectmen, they looked at our budget and said, you have a lot of money. And I said, yes, we do. And I thought that they would deduct it from contracted services. But you really can't or move it into, line items, the line item tree other, but of course you can't move funds. And they just thought that one of those two line items, either the carryover from last year or tree miscellaneous would be best. And Amy said, you choose, and I just said tree miscellaneous. And I'll have more about those two things in a few minutes, about those two line items. But so at present, we have $1,350. Well, I shouldn't say that because I don't know if it's been posted yet. since we didn't get a budget report. And the other thing I approved was the payment to Martha of $93 for her invoice for doing the minutes.
You're a bargain.
Thanks. I'm not sure I want to be a bargain, but
So,
okay.
so do you have that, Martha?
I do, yes.
Okay.
So basically, you're deducting, you're not moving the money,
No,
you're deducting it.
nothing's being moved.
Nothing's being moved, it's just being deducted from
Other miscellaneous.
other miscellaneous.
In the present budget, the
pay for it.
carryover from last year is still intact.
Yes, okay.
Okay, Ferry Road Sidewalk Committee update. And I'm just going to give you an accounting, just some of it, because this is posted. This is the meeting minutes are posted on the town website if you want to read the entire communication and what happens there. But here's what, some of it. Mr. Griswold and Mr. Thomas, who is the project engineer, met with the owners of 11 Ferry Road about their white vinyl fence that was installed on the town right-of-way along the south border of the property. The Reeds acknowledged the fence is not on their property, but that they installed it on the town's right-of-way in order to minimize damage to tree roots. Notwithstanding the fact that the fence was installed abutting the existing sidewalk, they asked if the town might make a design change so the fence could remain where it is. After some discussion, Mr. Thomas said he would spend a small amount of time to determine if an accommodation might be possible, and there was no commitment that the town would allow the fence to remain where it is. He did a limited amount of work on a possible redesign along 11 Ferry and 15 Ferry. While his design could provide 4 improved parking spots, he was not able to relocate the fence to be comfortable away from the fence. Relocate the walk to be comfortable away from the fence. In other words, there has to be the sidewalk would have to be curved away from the fence. So accordingly, he recommended that the fence be moved to be on the Reed property. So we discussed it. There would be an increase in the project by about $16,000 to do that, and the result is first Selectman Griswold will send a letter to the owners of 11 Ferry Road notifying them that their fence must be moved from town property. He's also going to send a letter to the DOT asking for 1-year extension of the STEEP grant to August 2023. That is because the timing. They have to work on the McClade sidewalk easement, which they live at 7 Ferry Road, and meet with Frontier Communications and Eversource to discuss moving a support wire for a sub-pole that interferes with the path of the proposed sidewalk. And that meeting was scheduled for February 21 with utility representatives. Also, I didn't know about this, but it takes a long time. You have to go to, when you apply for an extension, it has to go to the DOT. Then the committee that's in charge of the awarding or approving the extension of 1 year, he said it takes months and months. It's just, the state is so slow. So hopefully we'll get the extension, and they want to start immediately in September, but there's a lot of other paperwork, and I didn't realize until he sat there telling us what everything that they had to do. So hopefully it will be, they will have it, I don't know if that's correct though.
So they have to put it off a full year from September to September?
Well, I don't know if I have that written down correctly. You know that? I don't. To August 2023. I'm trying to see if he wrote that. No, I don't have, oh, wait a minute. As the steep grant projection, project completion is 10 August 2023. First Selectman Griswold asked Mr. Thomas what must be done to extend that date. He said an extension should be approved due to delays caused by COVID and the like, so he will speak with the DOT about obtaining a one-year extension. That should be 2024, I'm sorry. He also said trying to put the project out to bid for an early spring date is not achievable. That's now, and we should plan for a post-Labor Day start date. The other thing is the Bartlett tree feeding program. They wanted to know when we thought that second tree fertilizing should be done. We had the trees fertilized one time because they were supposed to, it was supposed to begin last year, so we had them fertilized. So they wanted to know when we should have them fertilized, and I don't know. I thought closer to the start date. I would like you to weigh in on that.
So it takes time to amplify root systems, so sooner than later.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Because the project engineer, Mr. Thomas also recommended that the Bartlett tree feeding program to be postponed to be closer to the start date. And I thought, but I wasn't, I didn't want to say anything because, we fertilized them. I think for a spring date, we fertilized them in the fall. So they would, over the winter, they would absorb everything. But the thing about it, what I was concerned about, and I didn't speak up, is if we have a drought like we did last summer, and fertilizing them in the middle of the drought when they're already stressed, I just didn't think that would be.
So generally, it's a slow release fertilizer. I'm not sure exactly what Bartlett's ratio is, but there's kelp products, which biostimulant stimulates the fibrous feeder roots. And so around construction sites, prior to the construction, you want to be amplifying the root system so that they're as healthy as possible going into the construction. If you time it really close to the construction, then the material doesn't have time to work and really be a big benefit. So I would say better for the trees to do it sooner than later. And with the drought last year, there's a big depletion of root systems die. And so we've been having water since last fall and during the winter, which the roots are still actively gathering and regrowing. But jump on it sooner than later. What's that?
When do you think?
Now.
Now? For spring, for fall?
Absolutely, yeah. And I would probably, I don't know exactly what product they're using, but if this, I would do it now and then do it again, potentially even close to the construction and then right after the construction to help stimulate root development.
Yeah, we had their proposal for 3 feedings, and the second one was sent, I'm going to say back in January, February. So that's why we talked about it. But as I said, I wasn't sure about it, so I didn't want to contradict him. But I did think that
spring, summer, fall. Spring, summer, fall.
So to the start date.
Yeah.
A few weeks before, it's not going to help the trees.
No.
Okay. Now, so I'll tell Tim that, because it's, their budget, his budget,
The other benefits of doing deep root feeding is you're hydraulically pumping the liquid fertilizer into the root area, which is helping to re-aerate the soil, loosen soil compaction.
And I would think too that it would, before they start in September, that it would certainly help the trees if there is a drought in the summer again.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a lot of trees that aren't leafing out. There's going to be a lot of death this year on wide variety of from shrubs to trees from the drought last year.
Yeah, we're concerned. I reported it to the members about the trees at Downwoods Park that we planted back in, I don't know, 16 or 18, two of them.
Oh.
The copper beech and the oak tree they were really stressed last fall.
And how about the new trees up on?
Well, Michael, I don't know, but Michael watered them every 3 days religiously, and they looked great going into the fall before they dropped their leaves. So I'm not as concerned about them. I was hoping you'd be there so I could ask him what his plans are if he would start again with it. So I don't know. Hello. Hi.
Hi.
We're not quite ready yet. Okay.
Not to jump off subject, but I know the gentleman that was doing the watering last year was sloughing around buckets of water. I forgot where the conversation went as far as getting a tank for somebody's small pickup truck.
I'm going to talk about that.
Okay.
Because Tim and I have been in deep conversation about this.
Well, Mike was going to jury rig something for us, but he never got around to it.
Well, I've been talking with Tim about it, so
Okay.
I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so I think I have reported everything about that, about Ferry Road. But I will get back to them about fertilizing. So thank you for that. Okay, the next thing is the tree inventory. Do you have anything to report? Have you started at all, or?
The other thing I started working on a little bit, and I was thinking of how to organize it.
Oh, good.
So I just went to the town GIS maps, and I started copying and pasting town properties. And this is just one example of it. It's tough to see, but it's Haynes Park.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, the thought was we could go to these areas and even mark on them, where the trees are, and
Okay.
do it, property by property that way.
Okay.
And that would be the way to start recording things.
Well, that's good. Have you talked with Michael about that?
No, I thought I'd see him. No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I see you first.
No, it's Boston Post Road here.
That's great.
Yeah, you're going to take a measure the diameter and
Yeah, just the basic metrics. Yeah, the diameter, obviously the species,
yeah.
roughly the shape it's in, if there's any noticeable diseases.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where you might be really helpful to us. We had talked about contracting it out. I mean, it's getting quite expensive.
Oh, yeah. No, Save a Tree's got a big consulting department. They do that for municipalities, and can be hundreds of thousands of dollars to put together a real plan, which is overkill for a town like Old Lyme, but, for cities, it makes sense.
Right. So, I mean, I think we can identify all the species, and, maybe you could lend your expertise to it as we go along.
Here's something else I have to report.
So, anyway, that's how I thought we'd organize it.
That looks great.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
And then once we get all the data, we could put it into an Excel database, with the different parameters we decided to measure, and then we'd have that.
That would be fabulous.
Maybe at the next meeting, maybe I could come up with a list of all the different properties I've identified, and then we can just make sure that I've, captured most of them, and we can build as we go along too.
Well, I talked with, now I don't remember his name, Tom. He's on the Economic Development Commission. Or no, Harbor Management, Tom.
Management?
Yeah, can't think of his name. Tom, anyway, I was having trouble, I think I told you, getting into the town website for the tree commission emails. And so finally, I was telling Michelle, I complained about it, and he called me, and he is one of the consultants that has, updated the computer system.
Yeah.
So he helped me, and I thought it would be a simple fix, which it was. They kept rejecting my password. So all they did was give me a new password, and I was in, he said, he thought it was going to be confusing. I said, I don't think so. At any rate, I asked him while I was talking with him about us having a Excel spreadsheet on the computer system. Nothing fancy, just an Excel spreadsheet. Martha would be willing to enter the data that you collect. And I was very disappointed to learn that we couldn't. I told him that we had a computer years ago, we used to do it, I was trained to do it, and Ruth Roach and Kathy Frank would enter all the information for us. And I told him that I was very disappointed that we couldn't. And what he said was, you have to get in line because people like Open Space want to put all of their information into the computer system, and they don't have the space. All the boards and commissions do. They want to put everything, all their documents, everything, whatever is important, I guess, into the computer system. They don't have the space, and they would have to go to the selectmen for more money. I said, all we want to do is a simple spreadsheet. That's it. So somebody can fill it in. He said, well, we can't do it. So what he suggested, and I didn't bring it,
we can manage that on our own for the time being. I don't think it's anything urgent.
Here's what he said. I was asking him if we could use like Google ourselves, and he said yes, use Google Sheets or Google Docs. Google Docs, keep it in your records, and then someday when they can fund it and we can do it, then we can just all be transferred. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
To you?
Sounds great.
So it would just, I said, we're the only, the town's not going to know what's going on then. And he said, well, that's, maybe you could show them if they ask about it, but, if you need funding or anything. But he said, that's a great idea, and that's what I suggest that you do. So it's easy. It'll be easy.
Easy's good.
Yeah, it is. That's great. No complications, so yay!
Let's go with that.
Okay. Sounds good. Is everybody agreeable with that?
Yes.
Good. Okay.
Could put Joan in charge.
I don't think we need to vote on that. That's just, we're all in agreement, right?
Right.
Okay. So now we're down to, I just wanted to also mention that I looked up when the grants are available from the DEEP, and the America the Beautiful grant, which they would look as far as inventory, it will be available in the fall. Now, for tree planting, they have a lot of grants available for tree planting. And I just want to, I'm going to skip ahead from under new business. I have Pew Charitable Trust. And this information that I gave out to you back in the fall, the city of Stamford. Now I lost my page. This Pew Charitable Trust, on it now. Pew Charitable Trust, there was an article published in last August. It's a global nonprofit organization that seeks to improve public policy through research and analysis. Cities are embracing trees as a solution. The Pew article was written shortly after President Joe Biden signed the Inflation Reduction Act, which includes $1.5 billion for the U.S. Forest Service's Urban and Community Forest Program, now funded at $36 million, into a major source of nationwide tree planting and maintenance. So, that's one thing. I don't know, would anyone want to look into that? Just go online and just get the information for that? No.
I'm not really, I think our chances of success would be pretty low.
I don't know. I don't know. I would imagine you have to, obviously, it would be like a grant. You have to, do all the paperwork. But I would just like to see, if you go on the U.S. Forest Service website, exactly what it entails. They may have not just cities, because a lot of the grants now in the state of Connecticut are for cities, for urban cities. So,
This is not considered a city.
I know, but who knows? I'll do it, and if nobody wants to do it, I'll do it. I'll bring it back the next meeting. Okay. All right. Emily, we're on to Arbor Day.
Do you want to talk about tree watering?
Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you. I've had a long conversation with him about tree watering, and because of my concern about inheriting the trees that are down at the transit hub. I think there's 3 of them down there, 2 or 3 of them down there.
They started with 3.
And I don't know about all of the shrubs that are along the border of that one home. I don't know about them. I know they're probably on town property too, because we had to do submit suggestions for what we thought would work there. But Mary Jo Nothal stretched hoses from the police station there. I don't know how many times. Every time I drove by, she was watering and had the tree gaiters on. So I just told Tim, I said, we are not capable. We don't have the tools to water that. And I'm not going to ask, I don't think it's fair to ask volunteers to do that, especially during a drought, as Michael did 3 days a week, stretching hoses and watering trees. I said, we have to come up with a solution. I talked about it at the select, when I did the presentation to you. I said, we have to do something. That's all there is to it. I mean, Fred has offered to water. Michael is already watering. We have to figure out something. I don't understand all, doing these tanks and everything and then trying to get the water into them. So I said, I suggest that you sit down with the 2 of them and talk about it. I don't know if you were interested, but, with the men, and talk about it and see if you can find a solution. So he said he would do it. He said that he talked about getting in touch with some type of a supply place. It's in Clinton or Westbrook, to see if they have the equipment. I don't know. He mentioned how many pounds of water would, that the tanks would hold, and then whatever it is, the equipment to either, draw it out of a creek or whatever, or, getting it onto the truck. So
Some pumper with the fire department let us fill at the fire department, or one of the 2 fire departments.
Maybe that's a good idea.
And there's 2 places that I think the one that you're talking about is maybe down in Guilford. It's called Site One Landscape Supply. They may have holding tanks like that, but there's another one. It's called Cheryl Arbor Supply, and you can buy those tanks. And
What is it called?
Cheryl Arbor Supply.
Cheryl. Sherrill.
Yes.
Okay.
What does your company use, Peter?
Oh, we use trucks with that hold 800 gallons in multiple different tanks.
So you already own the trucks that you can fill up with water somewhere?
Yeah, that's, so when the guys are, like, we have a fill site at our shop, and then when the guys are out, if they use more than 800 gallons, they have a Johnny pump on the truck. So we've got a few different water sources around where we can put a hose in a stream and fill the tanks up again.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, that's
trucks over at filling.
yeah, those are, you know, $100,000 trucks. So
Yeah.
that's overkill, but they make, you know, these plastic containers that would fit in the back of a small pickup truck, and 250 gallon
Well,
tank
that's what
is,
you're talking about, 250.
yeah, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
And they have like a little electric motor on it, so you can bowl the water out. They probably even make them with, you know, little feeding rods, so you can get it into the ground more efficiently. They're not that much money.
Okay.
You know, they're,
What was the other place in Guilford?
Site One Landscape Supply. I go to one in Ledyard quite often, and they have things like that sometimes there, but they can order them as well. But if you're going to order it, you might as well order it from Cheryl Arbor Supply.
Okay.
Probably have more options.
Information. Because these trees are going to be our responsibility sooner rather than later. So,
That must have been what Michael was talking about.
well, he was going to jury rig something, you know, himself.
Yeah, but I mean, if
He had a friend who showed him what to do. So, rather than carrying buckets. So, okay. And then, you know, that's the thing, in times of drought, like the trees at Town Woods, if they would have been watered, I mean, they've been in the ground for 6 or 7 years. If they would have been watered, it would have helped them. I mean, they didn't, you know, the trees did fine up until, I think last year was the year that.
We'll see how they do this spring. They'll bounce back.
Hopefully. I hope so. Okay, so now we'll get to the Arbor Day event. First of all, the order and shipping. I had to go in with the assistant to the finance officer, Amy Jensen, to place this order. And it took a while. It didn't happen right after our last meeting as I thought it would, because Nicole is the finance director, was out for 2 weeks, and I didn't know that. So anyway, I finally came in and talked with Amy, and I went in one day, and because they had to use the town credit card, because we had to pay for them right away. They don't, Arbor Day doesn't invoice. You have to pay for them when you place the order. So here is, we ordered 5 50-pack bundles at $79 each. And then it was $10 extra to designate the shipping time, confirm it, in order for it to arrive, well, a week or so before our event. So that was $10 extra. And then I also ordered brochures that I want to talk about with you after I talk about the seedlings. So the seedlings are going to ship on or before, that's confirmed. I actually left Amy with all the information because it took so long. I was in her office for at least 50 minutes trying to get all of this done. And she wrote back that yes, it's confirmed that they will ship on April 17th. And Fred, they're delivering them to my house. She to deliver it to my house. So I said, okay. She wrote to me after, because I'm the contact for the town. I'm the contact. So for the shipping, I'm the shipping contact.
So they're going to stay with you until the sale?
Well, we have to talk about that. And then the other thing is, so that total actually, grand total with both of the $10, the brochures and the delivery was $414.95.
Wow.
So we had, and also they had to talk with the town because the town had to fax their tax-free certificate to them too. So we had $450 that was confirmed by the selectmen, $450 that what we requested. So put the $1495, deduct that, and we have $3505 balance to spend. Now, the brochures are next. It was $5 for, I think, 150 or 100 brochures, $10 for 2,000. So I said 2,000 brochures. That's a lot. But I ordered them because
The thousands?
2,000, yes, because I thought, well, we just give them out, and then use them another way. If $10 wasn't a lot. But
You think you're in New York City.
here's the thing, though.
God.
They have the instructions for planting, and it is a 3, like a little fold out. They called last week and left a message. Thank you. Yes. And left a message for me, and I got back in touch with them yesterday. They're out of their brochures. They need to print them more. And it was going to be at 3 to 5 weeks for shipping. So I said, well, that's going to be very close to our date. And if we don't have them then I don't think we want them, but I'll ask the members. Here's what they did. I said, isn't there any way that we can have just some information? So they did put a link, a PDF file online, and I printed out exactly what this brochure looked like. And after I saw it, because I couldn't see it online, after I saw it, I thought, we don't need this. All we need is this one sheet with the planting instructions and some interesting things about the values of trees. This is all about Arbor Day and recognizing community tree planting and care, about Arbor Day, and then membership. So I'm just asking you, tomorrow I told the representative that I would call and tell them if we want to cancel it, and just give us a credit for $10 on the town's credit card, rather than accepting. I thought, that's a lot of brochures, but at the same time, we could always hand them out, fill them up, fill the areas in some of the places where, people go, but this is it.
That's the brochure?
No, it's actually this, but it folds out.
Okay.
So you're saying just print off as many copies as
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, let's do that.
Go to Staples and print out 400, 500 copies, however many.
That's what I want to talk about too. So what do you think, just this, and forget this about Arbor Day.
Just the instructions.
Forget all that.
Simple instructions so people, can brush up on how to properly plant a tree.
Okay.
Probably be beneficial for a lot of local
Anybody have any
landscapers too.
ideas? Who did you say to go to, Staples?
That's,
Are they the
yeah,
cheapest? Does any-
I don't know about
Maybe the
that.
town could even print them out for us.
I don't know. Because
This town is cheap.
Yeah, it's a lot of ink.
they are. That would probably come out of our budget if we wanted to, because we have to pay for postage even if we send something. So I'll figure that out. Okay.
Well, Staples would be a fine choice, but how many do you think we actually need? I'm thinking 100
We
to
need-
200.
We need 250, because that's how many seedlings we have.
how many?
But people are gonna take more than one seedling, right?
I don't know, we have to talk about that too. So, we don't want to give, I think, well, let's just get over it.
Okay, yeah, we
Finish
can
this.
talk about that.
So I'll tell them, I'll call Amy and tell her they're gonna credit the credit card for that. So that means we have $10 extra, so we have $45.05 in the
Well, we
balance.
could buy coffee for that day,
Okay,
Right.
brochures, we're finished.
for the workers.
We're done with that. Okay. Now, the next thing is the publicity. Emily's been working very hard, Emily.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yep.
Yep.
There is done two, I'll just give them to you. These, and this is to go in like Facebook, Facebook page, just an announcement. Let's see.
Without the typo.
Well, I'm glad we're giving them away free.
Yeah. Well, yeah, what are the instructions for planting a seedling versus a tree?
Nice and sweet and short, that's good.
Well, that's what they
Yeah.
need. They just need to be,
That's it.
this is one that I did. I'll just show it to you. On yellow paper.
That's great.
I don't have what Emily has, all the different species and stuff. I mean, we could put that on there too, but I did it on green and yellow, think it would be bold, but, it doesn't have to be that. So what we need to decide is,
TVs?
we need to decide we need to decide the time and the place.
Yep.
So, are you listening, Em? Emily,
I am.
I just said 10 o'clock.
Really nice.
Emily has, I think, 10 to 12,
11:01.
11 to 1.
11 to
I
1.
don't know. I just had to put something down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
I just have 10. And I also talked with Kim, asking him if he could have a small ceremony, would he like to speak? And he sort of said, I guess. So if he doesn't want to, then someone else will have to do it.
Emily?
Emily,
Not it. No.
No,
Nope.
I don't think so.
How come?
No,
have a
no, you can't make
wonderful
it. No.
All you have
No,
to do
it's
is
like my
read
worst
a
fear.
proclamation, Emily, and that would be it.
I mean,
No,
people-
I think Pete
That's true.
or somebody else.
Start at 10 o'clock when we start, that we could have the ceremony then, or have it at 11, and whoever's there is there. But we should do
Yeah.
something. So, okay.
I'll pass it off to the next person. I'm all set.
So what do you think about time?
Either time's fine, I would think. It's a Saturday?
Yes.
Saturday.
You want to do 11 to 1, 10 to 12?
10 to 12.
Yeah, 10 to 12, or 10 to 12.
Okay.
I just felt, like an end time is good because people,
That way we get them before they get out somewhere. And a lot
Yeah,
of people go lunch, so they pick up their trees before.
How about
I mean-
the place?
well,
Right.
I asked your first selectman if we maybe could do it in the front yard and he just casually, and he said, yeah, probably. So,
We thought, when
yeah.
we talked about it last month, we talked about this. And we thought that having it maybe at the shopping center, we would like to just, keep it to Old Lyme residents, because that's who it's for. We're in the shopping center, if we're in a highly visible place, we
Yeah.
don't know who's going in and out of the shopping center.
Yeah. The other place is that transit center, where they could drive in, pick up their trees and drive out by the police station. Right? There's room there.
oh, there you go.
That,
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, my one concern with town hall is that it is kind of hard to park, not that they're going to have a huge crowd, but if,
Where,
it can be a
Emily?
little difficult. At town hall, it can be a little difficult to pull in on Lime Street, people getting out and
Well, there's the parking lot out back here.
yeah.
How about where they do the annual plant sale over by Andy's Market, across the street from the post office?
Duck River Garden Club.
Where do they do that? Right at the shopping center across the street
Yeah,
there.
that larger green area there.
That's still a good place, and there's plenty of parking there.
And how do you get permission to use that
I
space?
don't know.
They do. We do. We have to get permission.
No,
And actually, it's, having worked at the plant sale so many years, it can be difficult to find a spot there on a Saturday. Sounds crazy, but it can be. The parking lot is usually jammed with cars.
I kind of like the town hall location. I think there's parking along the street.
I think also, I like that transit hub thing, but I don't know if coming from
It's a bit out of the way for some.
Hill Lane, that if I would drive all the way down there to get free seedlings, I don't.
So this is the shopping center, are the two centrally located spots.
Yeah. And the shopping center, as I said, we want to attract people who are residents. Emily and I talked about, and I actually talked with Tim too, about asking people to provide an ID. What do you think about that?
Oh, I wouldn't do
No.
that.
No.
Anybody that wants
No.
to pick up a tree, I don't care where they leave.
Honor system.
Just let them take
yeah,
them.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We'll probably know most of the people anyway.
So there is parking.
Yeah.
And there's,
Okay. Let's
it's
just-
really big,
let's
and then
just-
you go behind Center School. So,
Yeah, I say town hall. We'll start there. If we're a huge success, maybe we can go somewhere else next year.
Okay. All right, so are we agreed, town hall?
Yeah, because then
Yeah.
they could go out through Spears too. You don't have to really go around. You can come in here, or can't you reach Spears through here? Isn't there a driveway?
Next driveway over, but not too many people know about the Bat Cave.
Yeah, you have to go in the driveway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think you're right. The hub center would be good because there's parking on both sides of the street, and then you can curve in and pick up your trees and out again. But you're right; it's off the beaten path.
I forgot, how big are the saplings? Like 10 inches or?
12 or something like that.
Yeah, so they're tiny.
Yeah, they're
Now, the other thing we need is, what do you suggest for where we can do these handouts? Would everybody be willing to take some and post them?
Sure.
Okay.
What do you mean?
The handouts.
The advertisement?
Post them, take them and post them.
Oh, okay.
So after we print them. Emily has her list started. Emily, do you have it in front of you?
I do.
Post
Yeah,
office.
these are just places we were thinking that maybe just kind of put that short and quick announcement there, that line, the garden club, the town hall website, the weekly selected update on Facebook. There's a couple groups. There's the People of Old Lyme. There's Women of Old Lyme. There's the PC Examiner. Limeline's number one there. And then there's a Pollinate.
Should write an article or just post one of these on Limelight?
I think just posting it online.
On the, in that where you have.
On the banner on the side.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go, Emily. You don't have to write anything.
And both of those websites that we
Thank you,
get
Fred.
on Sunday,
You're welcome.
the one that comes through on the Sunday with all the news of Connecticut. And then there's another one that comes on my email, Limelight or something, every Tuesday or something, tells everything.
The Limelight?
Yeah.
Limelight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can
I
think of
never
anything.
ordered
Just
that. That appears
shoot me an email.
I
I thought we'd start there.
I thought the post office, the senior center,
The library.
the library, and I think that they will probably be, the soccer club or lacrosse club will be playing, so maybe that building that's, whatever is there, do you know, that's in Townwoods Park?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where else.
there's 250. I mean, I think if you put it out there, I don't think it'll be too hard to get rid of 250 saplings and then
Well, I mean,
see what kind of traction it gets, and then next year, you know,
Right.
if it really took off, then expand on where we're posting.
yeah.
Okay.
It's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think those cover the bases, and should draw enough people in.
Yeah.
Okay,
Tim's
thank
gonna, Emily, you asked your dad to write about it in his
Yeah.
newsletter, plus on the town website, there'll be a posting too.
Yeah.
So we'll see. So, okay.
Yeah, and then we can hang up a couple of those like flyers at, you know, Coffee Market, and, I don't know, Big Y,
Yeah,
wherever they have
Market,
a
that's
community
true.
board, you
Yeah,
know,
wherever
in
there's
places like
sports.
Andy's, or
Yeah,
maybe the
right.
hardware store, you know, wherever they have a you know, a board you can hang public stuff.
Okay, so,
And just one comment with regard to the one-page advertisement. It might be nice to add like some kind of an image of a tree or something, maybe to grab people's eye. And it's,
yeah, okay.
I couldn't, yeah, as I said, I'm having
You
a
have
hard
a new
time.
computer.
I do. I have a new computer and literally am struggling. So, anybody else could do a
you want me to try to
better
come up
job.
with some things?
Yes,
Suggestions
Fred,
to
please.
put in? Okay, I'll do that. But I'm going to be away for a week. I can't get to it until next week after this.
Emily, do
Okay.
you want to take and do you want to have them printed? Since you have them in your, computer, or what? Do you want to do it? I'll
Well,
ask.
I feel like a
Go
lot
ahead.
of the stuff is like, you know, there's like the online stuff, which would include that first group, you know, the Limelight, the Garden Club, the website, you know, that's all kind of online stuff.
Right.
And then I thought, like, the other one, that more flyer-looking one, would be the one we could kind of hang up at the post office. And
Right. Do you want to
Yeah.
take charge of getting them printed?
yeah, sure.
Will you
Yep.
ask your dad, will you ask your father if we could use the printer here at Town Hall?
I sure can.
Yeah.
He could probably do, you know, up to a certain amount, I imagine, without having to pay. But I don't know. I don't want to get anybody
Yeah.
in trouble. But yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know how many we should have. 50?
Not even a dozen or two at the most.
Oh yeah, I think the ones we hang around town wouldn't be more than 20.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You think
no,
100?
no big deal.
Oh, I said under 25. We don't
Oh,
have enough
oh, oh.
spaces to put
Okay.
them unless
Oh
you
yeah. No, just all the local places that everybody goes.
want trees.
Okay, so Fred, you'll work on
Yeah, what's the timing for posting all this stuff? What did you have in mind?
as soon as possible.
I mean,
2 weeks before at the most.
Yeah, keep it
I would
fresh.
say. Yeah, I would say probably
Not a
2-3
month
weeks out.
before. Nobody's going to
people will burn out and forget
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So early April, is that what we're talking about?
Early April?
What's the date
Yeah.
of the sale?
Okay, Emily, with you. You tell us.
Yeah.
What date do you think is good?
Well, I was also thinking, yeah, because if it's April 29th, yeah, you don't want to go too soon because people forget.
So what do you think?
I don't know, 2-3 weeks ahead of time.
Okay.
2
so
weeks,
How about
Emily.
April, when is Easter? April 10 or something? How about the 10th or someplace time like that? 3 weeks. We put it in Limelight and it'll stay there. They'll have
Okay.
it there. 10 to 15, I guess, maybe. Okay?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
All right. Now let us know, well, when you, get everything printed, do you want us to help you post them everywhere or what?
I'm sorry, I just get interrupted by a child. What was the question?
Do you want us to help you post them in the different places?
I think I can do most of them. If, like you said, you've done Limelight before. If you feel comfortable taking that one
I can
on,
reach
that'd
out to
probably be great.
Limelight, if you'd like.
Okay, I've worked with Olin for the two, last year for Arbor Day and then again And then before that, when we planted at Townwoods Park. So I'll reach out to her. She's always very gracious. In fact, she edited my story last year, so that was great. So I'll reach out to Olin. And I will also, you know what? We need to, I'm going to go to the Duck River Garden Club meeting. So should I pass out these or should I just put an announcement in their newsletter? I'm not sure when their newsletter is going to be.
Maybe both.
Okay, so you better do extras then, Emily. I would say to do probably 30, maybe more, 25 more for their meeting.
When is their meeting?
I don't know when it is. Well, there's one next week or the week after. So if we have if we have it done then and printed, I could take it in with me, even though it's ahead of time. And then they can put it in their newsletter for the people for the members who aren't at the meeting.
Maybe you could just make the announcement rather than having to, have a hard copy.
All right, then I'll do that. I'll ask them to do that.
Okay. And I'll do the town hall, the selectmen, the Facebook, CT Examiner, Pollinate Old Lyme, and if anybody can think of any other place, for online stuff, easy.
Yeah. Okay. Do you need anything else?
My only thing that I think we need to discuss is how many per resident. I thought maybe 2. I don't know how, because I think of 250 people actually show up. So do I give people two of them? Like, should we have a maximum amount that they can take?
I think we should, actually.
Max 2.
2 of one type, or 2.
Or should we do 3? Like you can have 1 shade, 1 flowering, 1 evergreen?
Max.
Okay.
That way there's not a run on one type of trees and wipe inventory out.
Only one of any one species, yeah. I don't know, 2 or 3, maybe 3. We want to unload them all.
Yeah, I agree.
So
maybe 1 flowering, 1 shade, and 1 evergreen?
Well, that's true. We could do that. Give 1 flowering, 1 shade.
And then they can have a choice. Maybe some of them only want 1 or,
that's true, yeah.
Yeah, and some may want more than 1.
Whoever's going to take all 2
Yeah,
or 3.
1 of each.
1 of each. Okay.
Oh, really? Okay.
Perfect.
Does that sound okay? 1 of each? If they want that. If they don't want that.
1 of each referring to one ornamental, 1 shade tree, 1 evergreen, correct?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's 5 different choices?
Right, 5 species.
Well, there's 2 flowering, 2 shade, and 1 evergreen.
Yeah, that's true.
So the evergreens could go quick, but that's
Your
okay.
choice of 3 or whatever. But only 1 of each species. Yeah.
And then as the time runs off, we can give them more.
If there's
Yeah,
leftover,
the
I'm sure the town's
The people
got
at the end get, yeah.
We're going to have them all.
Here's what we're going to talk about, what we do with leftovers.
Oh, dear God. We're not going to have leftovers. We're going to sort of push
we're
them
going to
back.
talk about that.
Yeah, throw them over the bank.
We're going to talk about the leftovers. Are we finished with everything that we need to talk about with the event?
I guess just my question is maximum per resident. 3? Just so people ask, how many can I come get?
Yes, 1 of flowering, 1 of
Shade.
1 of each. Okay, great.
1 of
Evergreen.
evergreens, and 1 of the
Ornamental?
no, that's flowering. I'm thinking
Evergreen.
of shade.
Shade, yeah, you mentioned shade. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Now,
Yep, I'm good. Thank you.
all right, good.
Thank you, Emily.
Yes, thank you, Emily.
You're welcome. You're
Good
very
job.
welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
So now we're going to talk with Mark. Fred, Have you met, do you know Mark?
I don't know Mark. Hi, Mark.
Okay, Mark. You want to sit over there? Where most of the members are. Mark, at the last meeting, generously offered, you remember we talked about the last meeting that you attended, which was in January, we talked about bare root seedlings and just wrapping paper towel around them and putting them in a baggie, because no one really wanted to take the time to pot them up. Well, Mark owns a nursery. He owns the nursery up on 156, hydrangeas galore. And at last month's meeting, he offered to provide the pots and the potting soil to pot them up. And he told us that it would take no time at all to do it. So I told him that we would talk about it at this meeting and decide what we want to do.
Well, certainly they would be more appealing to people if they were in a pot, you know. They'd already have a start in life, and the people didn't have to get them in the ground right away, you know. You can take a pot home from the nursery and play around with it for a while till you decide what to do with it. And if Mark is willing, I'd be willing to help him with it, you know, a couple hours, we could do some of them.
Well, you said we could do it all in a couple of hours, right?
Oh, easily. And I think the most important thing here is the survivability. And I think handing off seedlings in wet paper towels to someone who's isn't really well grounded in horticulture, it probably has a pretty poor chance. If it was in a pot with soil and is moist, inherently that's going to give you a much greater chance for success. And then they could actually leave it in that pot for several weeks until it maintains and achieves new roots, then transplant it. And that's actually the best course that you could take.
I have had the oak tree, if you remember a few years ago that the Connecticut Arborist Association gave away to celebrate their anniversary. Well, a few years ago, and we got one, and I sunk the pot in my perennial border, and I transplanted it one time, and it's really doing well. So I think that's the way to go, really. You can just sink it into your wherever your border, if you have a flower border or whatever, and just water it, which I did, and mulch it, and mine was happy, very happy where it is. I've done that before and have had success. So I just think I agree with you, rather than trying ceilings. My husband dug, I think, 8 or 9 white pine seedlings on a neighbor's property who didn't want them, and put them behind our barn where it was, protected, and then he put two out in the woodland where, we thought too much shade. The ones all behind the barn died. And he watered. But the ones in the woodland, they're beautiful. They've survived. So I think potting them, so that was, more died than survived. And I think you're right about survival rate.
And also once you receive them, we could immediately get them over to the nursery and take care of them, and then we could store them in a greenhouse until you're ready for your sale. And then
they had to be stored in cold.
Well, if you pot them up, you're going to want to get them growing. So I'll put them in one of my greenhouses where they won't freeze.
Oh, you mean after
we pot them, before we distribute them? Yeah, we can store them in a nursery setting so that
you have to put them in cold.
Yeah, so they're good to go.
Immediately.
Until we pot them.
Yeah. They soak the roots in water for 3 to 6 hours. Do not allow them to dry out. And then store them in cold. So, what do you think?
It's a no-brainer.
So you're offering to provide the pots and the soil? That's so generous and very thoughtful.
Yeah, I know. It's wonderful.
fantastic.
It is fantastic.
Just the-
That's such a big help.
And
for us.
then,
Yeah.
if we run into a situation where we've got 60 or 70 left over,
Yeah.
well, they're potted, and then bring them back to the nursery, and we can grow them through a season, and then next year you can hand out
That's my next
some
question.
really well-established
That's what I was
that will
going to ask.
definitely
If
succeed.
we have a lot left over, would you take them and grow them?
I will take them and grow them, and I spoke at length with Tim Griswold this week about potentially starting a tree commission subcommittee based around production, growing trees for planting into our tree
Get to
field.
that. I'm going to have you.
But this could kind of segue into that.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking after I thought, oh, what do we do if they're left over? Talking about that, we now have under new business, we had a request from the Open Space Commission. And basically what she said is, are all of the seeds, do you have anything, can we have some for open space to plant? And they wanted, I can't pull her email up right away, but
Who is this, Joanne?
open space. And Fred is the one who,
Open
Fred is on
space?
open
Yeah, I mean,
space.
so the background is Open Space got some land, they're calling it Ferry Landing, but it's down by the deep, when you go to the deep area. It's mostly a pond there, it's about 7 acres, most of it is a pond, but there's some upland, and it's heavily covered with invasives. They started removing the invasives, and they want to plant, more natural native plants there. So some of these fit the bill. And so I just suggested that they look into it with Joanne.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how many, and the person in charge is Ann Redfield. She's heading up that project. So it's a restoration project. And, but that might be a source of a few seedlings for us for that.
she said, I serve on the Open Space Commission with Fred Berenger, who alerted me to the availability of seedlings through your Arbor Day program. Open space as a property we are rehabilitating, and we could use some oak, dogwood, or redbud seedlings if there are any still available. So
Wonderful.
I suggest that we wait until, we can't make a commitment now because we don't know what we're going to have. But I suggest that we wait to see, what happens. We see how many we have left over, obviously, and if we have what they want. But we really can't say, okay, we'll give you 50 seedlings or whatever until we really see what we have.
Maybe just let them know that we would be willing to let them have, unless we want to keep some for the
Well, I think
next
we
event.
should. I really think we should.
It'd be a good experiment to do anyway, to try that.
Yeah,
But-
I think the majority of them should, I hate to say
Did
this.
Ann indicate how many she'd like?
No, but I hate to say this, but this is our budget that we're using too. So,
Yeah.
I
I thought it'd just be a handful of trees anyway, and
well, that's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
suggesting that if there are any.
Yeah, I think
we
because
could share some.
they only want oak, dogwood, redbud. That's it. So,
We don't have red buds in this group.
have what?
We didn't order red buds.
we did.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So,
I like Mark's idea.
we'll wait and see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We can probably do both.
I do.
If we have leftover, they're welcome to, a few or something.
Yeah. So, and then, I was going to ask you if you would take them and grow them for us. That would be wonderful. So, I'm so happy to hear that. So, we don't have the concern now what to do with them. So,
We got all kinds of backups.
we do. Isn't that wonderful? So, that's our segue into your presentation.
Okay.
Could I just ask one question about the potting? Are you looking for help for potting?
Yeah, come on over and we'll have a good time. We can do it whenever. I'm there working
So-
all day, every day.
Before we get to that what you want, my question to everybody is, if we get together to pot them up, that's going to be the week before, the week of the sale, because I asked for delivery. Let me see what the April calendar is.
So do they typically come in boxes?
They'll be bundled up, some sphagnum moss around them, white rubber
Well,
bands.
now I can't bring it up, so you get my...
17th.
They fit in
Okay, they're due to
car,
ship.
no problem.
They are due to ship on the 17th. That's what they suggested to get them, and I think it's FedEx that they're shipping. I'm not sure. So that would hopefully be here by Monday or Tuesday. So my question to you is, we have a meeting on the 20th, Thursday. I think we should probably, we're going to need to set, I don't know how we can, if they get there. It's going to be Saturday, the 29th, so I guess we'll have to pot them up almost as soon as they arrive, which will be, could it be anywhere from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
And then the sale is Saturday? So
Yep, it's going to be closed. So,
Okay.
Wasn't the sale on the 29th?
It's like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks.
Week and a half, yeah.
well, they're shipping out though on the 17th.
We're shipping.
Shipping out on the 17th, so no, it's not. It's, they said a week. So that would bring us to Monday. So we'll see. But Emily, my question is, it would obviously be better for you to do it during the day, right? Rather.
For
What
me,
time?
yes.
What time for you?
Anytime before 3:30, but I could bring the kids along. They could help.
Okay.
I will say my one stipulation is my little guy's birthday is April 19th. So the evening of the 19th, I could not help, but
Well,
I
April
can do.
9th, I doubt they'll be here then. They're
Okay,
just shipping
good.
out the 17th, so. Okay, so should we meet, we'll meet in April anyway. No, that's the 20th is our next meeting, so we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll know by then.
Yeah, I'm in. I think it's a great idea. Love it.
Okay.
Thank you,
So
Mark.
everybody, can you do it?
Not during the day.
No? Okay.
Busy season,
Yeah. Okay, so Joan and Fred, you're in. I got you, Martha. I was,
About
that's
a
good.
couple hours, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good.
It'll go
Yeah.
quick. Goes
Okay.
pretty quick.
All right, so we'll wait on that to see exactly.
Yeah, and then as we know, when the shipment comes, we'll hone in on the date and
Yeah.
nail it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very
I'll
flexible.
send an email to everyone when they arrive, if it's,
give me a heads up, and if I can make it, I'll make it, but
Have you
that's
opened
typically
your tree yet, Mark?
I just started taking the winter plastic off the cold frames. I just started taking plants out today.
Oh, okay. A nice day today. Yesterday, it would have blown away.
Oh, I know, I was gonna start yesterday, but there's too much
Oh,
wind.
my God, that wind was terrible.
okay, Mark, you're up for sure now.
Okay, so as we were talking about, there might be some extra seedlings from the seedling sale. And we would seg that into some type of production. As I said, I spoke with Tim about the declining tree canopy in the town. I told him that I'd spent time with you at the meeting last month, and I told him that I came up with a plan where I would like to really make this kind of be like my legacy project for a lifelong project that I would work on with my son to grow plants and trees to mature size, to be then used to be installed through the tree commission around town.
So that means in a couple years, instead of us
No,
ordering.
I have mature trees, I have mature trees for
We would
this
be able
year.
to get a certain number of trees from you that we could pick spots we wanted to plant them in, like we did at the,
And also that we could choose the species.
Well,
That's-
I would have a section of the nursery that would be inventory of the tree commission. That you would have a list of trees that we have, maybe there's 30 trees in the inventory currently, let's say, and there'll be a list of the sizes and the varieties and so forth. And wherever we think we want to plug them in to the community, we'd go ahead and do that. Now, the biggest issue that Tim raised was the issue of maintaining the trees and government resources and yada, yada, yada. And we both agreed that a connection with the private sector would probably be the easiest way to really catapult this and make this move forward. We talked about the issues of watering that we were all just talking about, that you all were talking about earlier. And I would devise into this plan. So I think the easiest way to water trees in the community is it's a simple gravity-fed 275-gallon caged cattle watering bucket. You can get them at Tractor Supply. I have a box truck, put it in the back, fill it up, drive wherever you have to go. You've got a 100-foot hose on gravity, and you can go ahead and water each plant that you need to water. I think it would be a really, really simple system to get right up next to the trees without carrying buckets. And you can water a lot of trees at 275 gallons. And that wouldn't be such a great amount of weight that someone with a pickup truck couldn't use it if I couldn't use it in my truck. It could easily fit on a pickup truck full. I think 12 pounds a gallon at 250. You're looking
That's
at
8 pounds a gallon, right?
8 pounds. You're looking at like 1,000 pounds or something, or 2,000.
Almost, pushing 2,000 pounds.
Yeah, but in a good sized truck, or even fill it halfway. But
Yeah.
I think with that kind of system, we could maintain the trees that I would want to be planting, and I think it could also be utilized for maintaining trees that have previously been planted.
But you would have to do it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so one person doing it.
So my goal would be to enlist other like-minded men and women who have the strength and the knowledge and the will to want to do community service. I think there's a lot of people out there like myself. I had no idea that I could come get involved in the community with trees like this. And, I can't believe I haven't been doing this for years, but I think there's other people out there who are excited about horticulture, who want to improve the town, and I think I could recruit other people to work with me on this very easily.
Just out of curiosity, how did you latch onto this or find out about it?
So I did a genealogy search and found out my family's very connected to this town, and I got incredibly, incredibly civic-minded and wanted to figure out how my nursery could connect with this town to help this town be a better place. So I went right to the tree commission, and here I am.
Yeah. Getting people involved, that's fantastic.
How did you learn about the tree commission?
I looked at the website and said, who's doing trees in this town? I want to be involved. And then I walked right in. Yeah.
Yep, he came last
and then
week.
answered to our prayers.
He came last.
Right out of the sky.
Well, I think this guy is the answer to your prayers. I can help you guys with trees, but
Oh, yeah, well,
this is
yeah, he's already helped us, so that's good today, which is good. When Tim said Peter Evans, and I went, wow, really?
So basically, that watering system is not that expensive.
Well, I don't know. That sounds great. I'm not, trying to say it's not. But I'm just thinking that with all the trees that we've already planted, that somebody should be maybe in charge of the ones that we've already planted or something, and then whatever's new, that could be your...
So how many trees need to be watered right now, approximately?
The only things
About a
we
dozen,
watered this past year were the three up there on Silver.
Town woods were planted. We don't have many trees. We, what I said to you last month is what I said to the selectmen. We've taken down, I don't know that I can even find that, but I do want to read it.
But a lot of the trees we planted are on their own. They're old enough that if they don't.
But like the 6 over at Town Woods that are in
Yeah,
rough
there's
shape
4.
after the
They're
drought.
still,
Before there, the ones on the North Green, there's a few at the
Well, there's one
transfer,
down here too, that we put in front of Town Hall.
the bus stop now on
And the
156.
bus stop.
There's-
And eventually
here's what I was
down
saying.
Ferry Road when
In
they
recent
finally
years,
did that.
142 town trees have been removed and only 10 trees planted. That's what I said to them. And I said, we want, did you read our minutes, by the way? Is that what, because I said, we want to start planting trees for the future, for future generations.
That's what got me going.
Oh, okay.
Saying
I
that.
thought I wrote.
You made a huge impression on me.
That's great. Because that's what I
That's exactly what I want to do.
Gotta
What
close
you said
that
we
line.
need, what you said what you need done is what I hope I can
Okay,
do.
never know who's going to read your, people say they don't read your minutes. Nobody reads your minutes. Well, there you go. So that's good. Okay, so
And I have the,
about tree production. That means, to me, the first thing I think of is, well, the second thing is I think it's wonderful. Funding. Budget.
okay, so if you guys are gonna get some seedlings, and I take some of those and plant them into 3-gallon pots next year, and then eventually in 3, 4, 5, 6 years get a 2-inch caliper tree, and it's mixed in with my current production, it's not gonna cost anything. I grow thousands of trees. If I have 20 or 30 trees for the tree commission in this one section, it's just going to be another step in my day.
So that they won't, but how about future production? Were you going to do the same thing? You're thinking about buying seedlings and starting?
Yes, and I have full-size, I have 2-inch caliper shade trees that I will donate this year.
You had mentioned that last month.
And I have dogwoods this high, and I have stewardias this high, and I have maples this high that I would put into production so we have a full production to start right off with. So we've got some mature trees, some 3-year trees, some 2-year trees, some
Okay,
1-year
I know
trees.
you mentioned the Zelkovas, and I told you the tree warden doesn't like Zelkovas. The roots lift the sidewalk, apparently. That was his main.
Yeah, I saw the ones on Ferry Road.
You-
That's a tough location.
That is a tough location.
I don't know.
There's not much of a median right there.
Unless they do something about the grade, we're not going to.
And those massive trees that are on the house side. I was thinking about the locations, thinking, can you find some nice little dwarf conifers or like some Hanoki cypress or something that isn't going to be so UV demanding, and because it's a
So
tight.
far, right now, we have requests for 1, 2, 3, 4 trees to replace the trees that are taken down.
On Ferry Road?
Yeah. Well, actually not to replace, because the house at the corner, the heirs at the corner of Lieutenant River Lane and Ferry Road, they lost 2 huge old maple trees in 2015. That's when a lot of them fell over in a storm, the old ones, and they had to take them away. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
It was huge. That storm really took down a lot of trees there. But anyway, and then I think there was a succeeding storm, which also did a lot of damage. So they want new trees there. We're not sure if it's going to be along the road or in their little plot there that's, one tree. But there is, I can't remember his name now, the gentleman who's here part-time that's, there's Lieutenant River Lane and Ferry Road where the Zelkovas are. There's a yellow house there. The house next door, he has two cherry trees that they shouldn't be there. They should have been taken down years ago.
Oh, yeah.
So the tree warden said he does not want them, he didn't at the first want them cut down. The tree warden said they're not staying because they're just on life support right now. So he wants one. And then, up here where the McClaves live at 7, we're taking down one Norway maple. Actually, it's the first tree on Ferry Road on that right side. And the tree warden promised them a tree on their front lawn, but I don't know about that. We'll have to talk with them about that. So the problem is 2 of the three residents or families who want trees are not here all the time. So there we go with watering again.
Right.
They're here part-time, maybe once or twice a month for a weekend. So that's the situation that we always seem to have a problem with, part-timers. So anyway.
So what we can maybe do is when you all come and we're potting up the seedlings, I can kind of show you an area and we can kind of visualize more what I'm talking about for production and so forth. And I can show you some of the other trees that I could put
Get to
into
know the species you have.
Yeah, I can show you what I can put into inventory right away. And we could get to a point where we're installing 10 trees a year. We could be putting back 10 trees a year very easily.
We just got to figure out where the appropriate places are to put those trees and what variety goes where.
That's why also we need an inventory. I wish we had an inventory. That would be so much easier.
You'll have one by this fall.
Is what?
You'll have an inventory by this fall.
Oh, well, that's good. This has been a fabulous meeting, I must say. Lots of stuff.
Absolutely, we'll get to it.
Okay, well, that's, I personally I can't say enough about all the good things that are happening. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
we got somebody who knows about trees with us, and we got somebody who takes
And
care of
Emily,
it.
Yeah, because he and our talents are like totally opposite, but totally complementary.
Yeah, exactly.
And Emily,
Cut them
thank
down.
you. Are you still on, Emily?
He's all about that. He's a health expert with trees.
Yeah.
That's the important part.
Yeah. Emily, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Have you heard all of this?
Yes,
It's exciting, isn't it?
it's very exciting.
Good. Okay, so anything else?
Thank you, Mark. Wonderful.
Good. Okay, so I will wait to hear from you guys about when.
You'll hear from me when the shipment arrives, but we have a meeting before that, so,
I'll come in the meeting hall section to the meeting.
okay.
April 20th, yes. Okay, nice to meet you, Mark. Nice to meet you.
A massive gift.
Mark, see you, my friend. See you.
Mark, nice to see you again. Thank you, Mark, very much.
Look forward to getting my fingers.
Thank you. Thanks for reaching out.
We'll see you soon.
Okay. Now, we didn't do one thing, and that was approve the minutes.
What didn't we do?
We have to approve the 12/7/22 special meeting minutes. We did not approve them last month because we didn't think Emily was here. But Emily, you were present.
Hey!
You were present, actually. I went back and looked, and you were actually in person. So,
Hey!
I need a motion then to approve the 12/7/22 special meeting minutes.
I make the motion to approve those minutes.
I'll second.
And I'll second that. Oh, very good.
Aye.
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 Okay, I need approval of the 2/16/23 regular meeting minutes with the one correction that I stated earlier to Mark. We did not vote. So I need a motion to approve them.
I wasn't here at that meeting, so I have to abstain from the one.
I'll make a motion again.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Say aye.
Aye!
Okay. So that's it. And now, anything else?
Woo.
Anything else?
No, we got everything under control.
Okay. And then I need a motion to adjourn.
Do I make the motion to adjourn too? Okay, I make
Yes.
it. You second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, thank God.